If you are listening to this podcast, it means you are searching for someone who understands you, someone who gets you. You are yearning to be understood and to belong. Welcome to the Someone Gets Me podcast, where we help smart, talented, and sensitive people navigate an often insensitive world. Let's welcome your host, ambassador, author, speaker, and mentor, Diane Allen. Diane has the experience and knowledge to educate and inspire, as she has been there and understands your unique intensities and their challenges.
Hey everybody, it's Diane. And today on Someone Gets Me, I ask you, who's in charge? That's the title of today's podcast. Who is in charge anyway? And I would like to thank one of my blog readers for this question. They commented, actually sending me an email rather than putting it on the comment section, asking me about how to not be so reactionary in life and always being that kind of react person that they were saying was so stressful. So today I want to talk about who is in charge and answer that question about how to release the behavior of being a reactionary person, which usually causes strife and discord in home and work and within yourself because of the guilt. So what I'd like to talk about, or start with anyway, is looking at ourselves and how we operate. We have an external focus, or we call it an external locus of control. That means that things outside of us are what is controlling us. So if somebody else is happy, I'm happy. If something is upsetting me, then I'm upset if it's on the outside. It's kind of the old nature versus nurture argument, but very practically said, might we say. The external locus of control person is always putting out fires. They're always looking outside of themselves. They make great workers in an emergency room or emergency type setting because they can react quickly. They're used to reacting quickly because they're basically knee-jerking their way through a lot of parts of what's going on all around them. So you need that in an emergency situation. The only problem with that is you become a slave to being that reactionary type person over time. And what also happens to somebody who has an external locus of control is that they end up actually kind of being a puppet to whatever's going on around them. I even have a couple clients recently that have asked me about this because something would happen. In one moment, something happened with her husband at work, and she became very upset and angry and then cried and, told me that it ruined the day before because she had everything so focused on what was happening outside of her that she was not able to self-soothe or moderate what was happening within her. And so that external locus of control can make things quite different. That's the first locus of control. Now, the second locus of control that's very important is, you guessed it, an internal locus of control. You know a person who has an internal locus of control when they're self-directed and they take action upon things. So if something is happening and it seems like it's a really big deal and everybody's all hysterical, the internal locus of control person will sit quietly sometimes or go within, and they might even go within while they're acting fast, right? To direct and act upon a situation or act within a situation rather than just being reactionary. An internal locus of control gives you much more authority and power and presence in your life. It allows you to choose how to respond to things versus just reacting. And so you become much more confident. Your self-esteem goes up. You have a lot less regret in the world because you're not saying and doing things you feel like you have to change or shift. When you fight something or you focus on something like an external locus of control person where you're always focused outside of you, the law is, the spiritual law is that you get more of it. So if I'm fighting to fight cancer or fight some other thing, then actually I'm getting more of it because I'm giving my attention to it. as the old adage goes, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when we have that external locus of control, looking outside of ourselves for the answer, looking outside of ourselves for anything, then what happens is we give away our power, and often we create more of the very thing we don't want. So that is the reason why I try to help people understand that we want to develop an internal locus of control, one where we're self-directed and we're acting upon the world. So who is in charge of your life? That external, what's going on in the weather or politics or your family or work? Or do you have an internal locus of control where you stand in your authority, you stand quietly, you know what to do, and you're acting from that place of self-direction? They look very different. The stress level and health level of people is very different. So what I'd like to inspire you to do is take a few minutes every once in a while and check yourself and see who is in charge. Is everyone else in charge of your life and you are just jumping from thing to thing to thing, trying to, be like a pinball and make it? Or are you in charge of your life? When you're very sensitive and you have overexcitabilities or you have more awareness, it's very easy to get caught up in this external locus of control. If there's loud noise and hurry, hurry, hurry and busyness, it can almost feel like a seductive, addictive calling to get caught up in it. And so it's very important to begin to slow down and say, if I'm getting caught up in something, or I'm finding myself in that endless cycle of more, then it's time to change where our attention goes so our energy flows somewhere else. Shift your attention inside to yourself. How does your heart feel? What about your stomach? Is your mind racing so fast that maybe a few breaths are needed to soothe your mind and calm yourself? In those moments, when you shift your attention inside to that internal place, you reclaim your personal authority, you reclaim who you are, and you can stand in confidence with any decision that you're making. So I would like to encourage you to evaluate yourself, and maybe in some situations you're much better at internal than external locus of control, knowing that more and more external locus of control creates more and more stress and discord in your life. As sensitive people and bright people, part of our biggest shift is going from looking outside for satisfaction and outside of us for validation to going within and being who we are authentically from the inside out. So who's in charge? Until next time, don't forget, keep looking at the sun so that the shadows fall behind you. And smile and remember that you're perfectly equipped. You have everything you need to do everything your heart's desires singing.
Are you tired of searching for someone who understands you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, talented, and wanting to be understood. Diane shares her insights and teachings, and you can connect with others. Join today.